Welcome back to ChowTimePod. It's your host, Red. I got a video today from Dee Dee. She did a video on black men have checked out from black women. I wonder why. I think other groups, communities are actually following in black women's footsteps. When you look at the Asian community and you look at some of the louder women and the more women that are online, how close is their demeanor and their actions to black women? They're actually very, very similar. A lot of cultures, in my opinion, are starting to assimilate from black women, at least women-wise. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that. And let's get to that chow. It's chow time.
When you use the word intimidation, what do you two mean?
Brittany and I were out at a restaurant and there were a group of men there. No one approached us. This was a younger crowd of guys. Nobody approached us. Like, we're just sitting at the bar.
Because nobody approached them, they were intimidated. Maybe they just don't want to deal with you guys. You said they were young cats, so maybe you're too old.
And we were just like, oh, so nobody's going to come over here and say anything.
Were they looking in your direction or were they not even paying you guys attention?
I'm going to say something controversial.
Okay.
It's a very Dallas thing. Coming from Atlanta, to see so many black men here not be interested in black women, because they were talking.
Oh, they did. So it was other women at the bar.
Rebecca.
So we were walking out and I was like, well, I'm just going to say something to him. So I was like, what are y'all here for?
Because they didn't hit on you, you had to go to them and say something to them about it? What the fuck? I don't...
They're like, oh, reunion.
Like, dismissed. Like, I've answered your question. But Rebecca and Claire were getting full engagement, drinks, and this is like a crowd of probably like 10 plus black men.
All right, so what do you guys think about what they had to say? Now, they're basically saying this is something that they noticed in Dallas, but there are women all over the country saying or speaking out on how black men are not approaching them, how they, these men are, are checked out. They're not really, approaching them, trying to get their attention or trying to date them. And so there are...
Like, I wonder. So, just me speculating, man. Since black men have not been checking out black women on a mass like they used to, who is? Are black women are just relegated to the lonely corner of society now because they are the bottom of the barrel of race-wise in women? I don't think very many other races are going after black women. Not very many Asians for sure. I'm not saying there aren't any. There's not very many. There's white men that do, and then there's Hispanic men that do, but it's just not on a sheer number that black men used to. Since then, now that black men are not, or black women are just probably the most single demographic of women out there. Why? We all know why. Like, the way they act, the way they portray themselves, it's just not the greatest.
A lot of women who have the same complaints as these two women here. There are a lot of women who are voicing their opinions on why, asking why are black men not giving them any attention, or men aren't the way they used to be, and men are just different. So there are a lot of women who are complaining about this, and they act as if they're confused as to why a lot of black men have checked out. So
Dee Dee, they're just so confused. It's true. Women love to play that I don't know what's really going on card, even though they know exactly what's going on card, just because they can, and men are just going to let them do it.
So now that men have taken the hint and they have been given the signal that a lot of these modern women don't want them approaching them. They don't want you to look at them. They don't want you to talk to them. If you ain't 6 feet, 6 pack, 6 figures, They don't want to have anything to do with you. So now that men have gotten the notice and they're saying, to hell with y'all. We're not approaching y'all. We don't care anymore. We're going to do our own thing. Y'all do what y'all want to do. Now you have women coming around saying, hey, men are only talking to Rebecca and they're talking to Claire and
the nice people, the nice women with the nice faces that are like smiling at us and friendly to us, of course.
All these white women, and they're not even batting an eye at us. They're not even trying to have a conversation with us, and now they're confused. Well, you can really, blame that on feminism and independence. Those are a few of the things that have caused Black men to walk away, because you have a society of Black women who have openly spewed out a lot of their hatred.
And Didi's focusing on Black women, and reasonable to be focusing on them, but this is happening with all women in the modern era, right? Especially in the West. They're going that way. It's the way they treat men, the way they've been it's not just Black. I feel like what Black women have been doing for a longer period of time now is starting to spill over to all other groups of women, and they're treating their men very similar. Asian men get treated pretty roughly by certain Asian women. Not all Asian women, but certain Asian women that kind of fit the same demographic as Black women do.
And a lot of what they think about Black men, and also, they've been very vocal on the fact that they don't need them. They're dusties. They're useless. They're too broke.
And again, same thing could be said for Asian men. Oh, we're not masculine enough. We're too nerdy. We don't got that swag. We don't got muscles. The only reason I got muscles is because I fucking work out a good amount, and I've been taking a lot of protein. So I noticed, side note, I noticed when I work out and don't take protein, I'm not getting enough protein to build muscle. So since I've been working out and drinking 2 protein shakes, like 1 protein shake a day or so, I've been actually gaining weight and gaining muscles. So it's a note to you guys. I don't know if everybody's body's the same. Just, I guess my regular meals, I only eat about once a day. I'm not getting enough protein in it, I guess, to build muscle.
There are all of these negative things. And so that is part of the reason why these men are saying, hey, if we're all of this to you guys, then we're just going to move and go our way. We're not going to even deal with y'all. We're not going to approach y'all. We're not going to try to talk to you because we know you don't want us. We're not worth anything to y'all. So we're going to keep it moving. I hear more and more men saying, look, it's not even worth it, man. They're not even trying because they're like, it's not worth it. They're not going to change. They think we are the problem. They don't see themselves. So we're not going to even bother. And they have every right to do that. It's unfortunate. But I mean, if you think about it, if men were the ones out here saying how women are dusties, they're no good, they're useless, they
hoes,
short, they don't bring anything to the table, they don't make enough money, would you be inclined to still want to date them? No. Most women wouldn't want to deal with them either.
Yep.
So in my opinion, they have every right to walk away and not want to deal with a group of women who.
And this is where I appreciate Didi a lot. Her logical thought process. Oh, and congrats to Didi. She, her and her husband had their anniversary not too long ago. I think it was last week. She posted it. So congratulations to her. She has a wonderful husband. I can see why. She's quite educated in a sense. I don't know, like degree wise or anything, but through conversation and things, and from watching her channel, she's better than most women. Just period. It doesn't have even to be categorized with any race or anything. The way she carries herself, the way she speaks, the way that she even understands some of the thought processes of men and women. I'm sure she speaks with her husband about some of these subjects and discusses it with him, and that's why she's able to be so in depth in some of her, discussions with us. And shout outs to Didi for putting in that work.
Who deem them useless. So I don't understand why people are so upset when a lot of our women, Black women, have allowed social media, music, and society to pit them against their own men. And they don't see it that way because they've been conditioned and brainwashed into thinking that all Black men are just so horrible and you don't need to even give them a shot, don't give them a chance. all because you dealt with a couple of pookies that didn't serve you any justice. So now all men are just horrible. All men are just this bad. They don't do this. They don't do that. But at the end of the day, no other race of men are really come and grab and scoop all of these black women up and marry them and make them housewives and you know, take care of them and give them the lifestyle that they want. It's just not happening. No. There are more women out here than there are men. And a lot of these women, even if majority of women get somebody, there's still going to be women left over. So it's just crazy to me how a lot of women act confused and shocked and wondering why this is an issue. You know, a lot of women talk about and brag about, oh, they get into the bag and these men are broke and women got to do this and the men only do the bare minimum and they got to, you know, they got all that.
Yeah, because they're only talking about the Ray Rays and the Pookies. They're not really talking about all black men or all men in general. They're only talking about the ones that they are super attracted to, the only ones that approach them. You know, like the other side of it is women are very limited in the men they have access to, because if they are going to only date men that approach them, they're only going to get the top 10 top tier Ray Rays and Pookies. Why? Because those are the ones that approach everyone. Most men don't just go out there approaching people, women left and right like that. So when women are getting approached constantly, it's usually by the top echelon of Ray Rays and Pookies, because they're the ones that don't give a fuck. So when you think about it, they're setting themselves up for failure, in a sense, if they only care about people that approach them, especially through, dating apps and through real life. They're not going about it, vetting these men. Like not all these men that are approaching you are viable candidates, but because they approach you, they probably have this certain swag or certain thing about them. That's why they approached you. But most men don't. So when you think about it, it's only a small select men that are constantly approaching women.
Education and black women are making all this money, and I just find that to be very interesting when I hear black women talk about how women make more money than men and how they're just running laps around these men, when that is just simply not true. Nope. Only 22% of black households make $100K or more per year. Black households are by far the least likely to earn over $100K per year, with just 11.4% earning between $100,000 and $149,999, 4.6% earning between $150,000 and $199,999, and 5.7% earning $200K or more. You got a bunch of single mothers out here who are claiming that they're getting to the bag, they're making this amount of money, but it's not a whole lot who are making that money. So it's not even half. We have almost 30% of single mothers living in poverty. The rest of the single mothers, they're not all earning $100K a year. Black women like to talk about, oh, we're the highest earners and we get paid, when that is not true. That goes to Asian American women. And I'm saying this not to put black women down, but just to be honest about the truth and stop spewing things that are just not true.
And agree. And this is not a diss video. We're not dissing anybody. We're just bringing up facts and conversating about it. She's right. Asian women are the highest earning demographic of women, period. They are somewhat actually out earning some Asian men, because education was such a big thing in Asian culture and Asian families that we forced everybody to go get education. So it makes sense that Asian women would be the highest demographic of education and earners.
In order to put black men down to make yourselves feel better. So we got to stop acting like black women are running circles around black men by leaps and bounds and they're doing so much better, when black women have the highest eviction rate. Stop putting the narrative out there that black men are just the most horrible.
They have the highest eviction rate. They have the highest single mother rate. They have the highest poverty rate. These are some of the things that comes in that box.
Well, they're not doing anything. Black women are just above them and superior to them and so much better, to the point that you don't even want to deal with them, is insane to me. And now that black men are moving on and they've taken enough, they've heard enough, they've gotten a memo, they've said, okay, this is what y'all want, y'all don't want us, okay, well, we gonna move on. And it's obvious that it's happening, because you wouldn't have women out here complaining about black men not even paying them any mind. There are a lot of men who love black women, but they just,
I think most black men do. from what I can tell, there's very few that truly don't want to date black women, period. You know, I have my best friend is one of them. He's always had bad experiences with black women growing up. He's always dated outside his race. He's a lighter skinned black gentleman. And he's with a white woman now. They just got engaged earlier this year, like a couple months ago. And he tells me it's just that they've never given him that kind of time of day. So he's never given them that kind of time of day, which makes sense.
Don't want to put up with your BS. And so instead of women saying, you know what, we're going to work on ourselves, we're going to do better, we're gonna try to work with our men and understand them and figure out what it is that they want, and vice versa. They would rather pit themselves against them and just belittle them and put them down, thinking that they're gonna have success somewhere else. And that's where the aha gotcha moment comes in, because other races of men are not putting up with your BS. They're not going to deal with it. The men are not going to tolerate the stuff that black men have been tolerating for years. A lot of these women don't see themselves. They don't see where they need to make changes. We all need to make changes, but unfortunately, a lot of our modern women don't see where they need to do better. You can lead a person to the water, but you can't, lead the horse to the water, but you can't make him drink. So you can give all the information out.
I love that saying. And it's correct. You can do everything for someone to get them wherever they need to go. You can literally put them right in front of that finish line. If they're not willing to take that one step to cross it, there's nothing you can do about it.
Out here to try to convince people to make a difference, make a change, build families together, stop putting the man down, work together. I can say that till I'm blue in the face, but if nobody wants to listen, then they're gonna do their own thing, and unfortunately you're gonna have to suffer the consequences of what that entails. And a lot of people have this thing where it is not a problem until it's a problem. You don't want to hear anything until you're in that situation, and now you're stuck and don't know what to do. And that's kind of what we're seeing. A lot of women complaining about, oh, we don't have anybody to choose from. No, because y'all ran them all away.
Yep.
Chivalry is dead because y'all killed it. All of this is a response to how women have treated men, and they don't see it that way. You can only account for the couple of bad relationships you've been in because of the type of people that you chose. And then they decided to just say this is the representation of all black men, when it's not. The good black men who are out here are looking for good black women. And if you're not considered a good black woman, then you're not going to get that man. You're going to constantly surround yourself around the men who you feel comfortable with, knowing that they're not the type of guys that you're really looking for. Or are you the type of woman that they're really looking for? So it's just this game of, let's just screw and figure out what happens next. And you're still not getting to where you want to be. So
that's life nowadays. Let's just screw and see where everything goes.
We got a lot of work to do. Well, a lot of these women got a lot of work to do. Whether they realize it now or not, they will realize it later. They will realize how jacked up it's been and how jacked up what they're doing is, and how it's going to pan out for them later on in life. I'm just saying, in their children's lives. So listen, I'm gonna leave it here. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you hit that notification bell to be notified when I upload new videos. And
damn good chow. Shout outs to Dee doing always great work on her channel, and I like featuring her. I like featuring women on my channel, just getting just their points of views. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, and like Dee would be one of the women that we can see that probably isn't a chameleon. I like showing that too. She's definitely married. She's doing wonderful. She's gorgeous. She has a wonderful channel. I don't think she really puts that much work into this channel as, like, say, Pearl does in her channel. She only puts about one video a day or so, and they're good videos. They're good videos. I'm sure she puts a significant amount of time and effort into these videos, but she's not making a conglomerate YouTube channel or something. It seems like more of a side thing for her, and she enjoys her life. So please subscribe down below. I really appreciate that, and I'll catch you guys next time. Ciao.